Let's talk about a partner who is profiting off of your business. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist, and I've been counseling men and women who've been victims and perpetrators of abuse for many years now. And I wanted to answer a listener question. I've got so many, so I'm going to try to catch up on some of these. This commenter writes, do you believe it's a red flag when a partner, especially one who entered after a woman was already established, begins controlling her brand, isolates her from management, appears to profit off of her work while speaking for her publicly? So gosh, this actually reminds me of a celebrity couple that's out there now. Can you guess which one I'm thinking of? I won't say names, of course. I think the bigger question is, do you, the writer, do you believe that it's a red flag? And I suspect that you do, but there's something about the first thing that comes to my mind is there's something about the person who writes this question, who is, it's almost like you're looking for a permission to make a decision about a person. I don't know, but you may have a history of being controlled or being made to feel as though you were not adequate in your own decision-making process. So you don't really need permission from anyone. If you've established a brand in a business, there's already, must have some talent, right, in order to be able to do that. But as far as my answer, of course, I do believe that it's a red flag. I believe it's a red flag on both ends. I believe it's a red flag when someone wants to come in and controlling someone who has an established business. But I also believe it's a red flag if that is allowed or you sort of give in to that. That means that there's some work to be done on both ends. And I understand how abuse dynamics work. So allowed is not necessarily the right word, but it's a word I'm going to use due to it's the first thing that comes to my mind. But so I think whenever you have a business, as any entrepreneur out there that has a business, it needs to be legally protected. It is an asset. So that means that, like, if you've had this before this person came along, hopefully you took the necessary steps to protect your business legally before this person came along. Now, with that being said, it's also dangerous for anyone to feel like, they can come along and control something that your blood, sweat, and tears, that you work so hard for, did that. And so there should never be a situation in where someone feels so comfortable to come in and do that, take over, and then start publicly speaking for you. Now, if it's a situation where you guys got together and you decided to bring them on, and you guys are like collaborating now, that's one thing. But even if you do that, they still need to know who the head honcho is and who owns all of it and who runs all of it at the end of the day. And so far, it sounds like this person is trying to control you and everything about you, and everything that you've worked hard for. And that is a way to sort of break you down and sort of strip you of everything. So isolation and all of that other stuff is going to follow, but they're going to try to take your power away from you, very strategically. And it looks like they're definitely doing that. It doesn't mean that it can't be undone, but it also means that, like, that's something that you need to, fix quickly. And my guess is, I don't know that this is something where you can fix it, have a conversation about the relationship, about what they're doing, and still have the relationship. So this person wants all of it. He wants all of everything that they can get from you. They're going to try and take from you, and they're being very strategic about it. And no one should ever feel comfortable enough to do that. And that's why lawyers and agreements and, entity protections and all that kind of stuff is made so that to protect people from stuff like that. And if that's not something you have, you need to get it ASAP. So you need to find a lawyer who could definitely, help you with this kind of stuff. You also may need to take a step back from the relationship. And again, I don't know your relationship, but this person has gotten too big for their britches. So they're definitely trying to take control of a lot of things. And unfortunately, boundaries, I don't know if boundaries were set, but they've certainly been crossed. So it may be too late to have any sort of semblance of a healthy relationship for the simple fact that so much disrespect has occurred. And this person, usually once a person gets to this stage, it's very hard to walk it back. And so when they're trying to take over your brand, your voice, and, isolating you, and things like that, and speaking for you publicly, that means that person feels like they're in charge of you and the business. So I would say you want to take some steps, take the breast away from the baby's mouth and move on accordingly. But also, I would recommend doing your own work. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to you, feeling empowered, comes back to you protecting yourself, knowing that you are that girl, right? And that nobody's going to come in here and run everything that you built brick and mortar from the ground up. And they need to know who you are, but you also need to know your worth, because women who are very confident and know their worth don't entertain stuff like this, right? They don't entertain men that are like this. And he sounds kind of like a loser. I hate to put that out there, but I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there because, what does he come with? I suspect he doesn't come with his own stuff. Because why is he so busy trying to run your stuff? If he comes with his own identity, if he comes with his own business, if he comes with his own creativity and his own ideas, he wouldn't be so busy trying to take yours. So it's a predator, and it doesn't sound like he has a whole lot going. So I would recommend talking with a professional, so that you can know what your worth is, and going forward, not entertaining people that are going to bring you down. And if you watch any of my videos, I've talked about, women, successful women, creating their distance from people that are not on the same level as them. Nothing will drag you down more than a partner who doesn't have anything. They will help you lose everything: your brand, your name, your voice, your money, your sense of stability, your sanity, all of that. So they will literally help you lose everything if you're not careful. So, being that your business is your baby, that was there first. Take care of that. Prioritize yourself. Create some distance. Create some space. Get some professional help to help you work on building your own confidence, building your own self-esteem. Talk with a good attorney. Make sure your assets are protected. But you also may even need to have a conversation with your team, because you could lose a good team. If you have people that work for you, you could lose a good team with stuff like this, because people start to lose faith and trust in you as well as respect, because people that so easily let other people come in and take over and dominate aren't considered competent or trustworthy. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just telling you from perception. And so nothing makes a person leave a company faster than a bad leader. Like, follow, and share. This has been helpful. Hopefully that answered your question. Thanks for asking.